What up? Here in my garage here in Bali, and I got the homie Rainier. He's not from the Pacific Northwest, but his name is Rainier, and he's from Cali, and we met at the Nomad Summit, and I'm here to share something that's possible. He is doing like, I have so many friends, and I'm sure you guys do too, doing commercial real estate and real estate sales. You know, it's such a common thing for young hustlers to do, like straight out of college or even straight out of high school, is basically be hitting the phones for real estate sales and be involved in that industry somehow. And he's doing it now remotely. Okay, and so we're going to talk about that in this podcast here and how he made that a reality. You guys may not know, I was actually involved in the real estate kind of industry for about 1.5 years. I was actually knocking doors for foreclosures in the greater Seattle area for about 1 year, and also hitting the phones a good amount too. So yeah, anyways, he is doing the perfect exact kind of internet freedom career plan. He went to the Nomad Summit in Las Vegas, and then met CJ there and RJ, and they formed kind of a pact to come out to the Nomad Summit in Chiang Mai in January 2019. That's when we met. And then he's also planning on going to the Nomad Summit this October, is it, in Mexico? Or Cancun? In Cancun. So yeah, this is the plan, man. If you want to get into this digital kind of career, that's where you connect with like-minded hustlers at the Nomad Summit. And now you are now officially doing your real estate sales remotely.
Yes.
Okay, and he's gonna tell that story here in a second. Let me guys show you the view one more time here in Canggu, Bali. We got Cody here as well, another Cali hustler. But here, fucking Bill Burr podcast is playing on my SoundCloud. Speaking of SoundCloud, if you guys are listening to this or watching, subscribe to my SoundCloud channel. I put all my podcasts and audio interviews on my SoundCloud, in case you didn't know. So yes, young Rainier.
What up?
Are you like an actual Raptors fan?
No.
Like...
So my buddy Cody over here is a Warriors fan. We grew up in NorCal.
Trolling my ass.
I'm just trolling him. I'm a Lakers fan.
Okay.
Always been a Kobe fan.
Yep, same with me. Kobe. I'm a diehard Kobe. We share the same birthday, so I've always been a August 23rd buddy with Kobe. Obviously, he's the GOAT.
Yep.
But okay, so you guys are from NorCal.
Yep.
That's what's up. And so so yeah, you're just telling me at lunch here that you basically told your commercial real estate company that, all right, let me do this remotely, or I'm basically gonna leave. So yeah, and now you're at a company, another commercial real estate company, and they're letting you do this remotely, like full time, or just like a certain, is this like a trial, or?
Yeah, we're still negotiating it. It's a trial period. I mean,
Okay.
It's not a common thing. So, commercial real estate has been one of the industries that's like really kind of archaic when it comes to
really
modern technology.
Yeah.
So, telling someone, hey, I'm gonna travel and work remote from, whether you're in an island or just across the country, it's kind of a new idea to them.
Yeah.
Traditionally, it's like 8, 10, 12 hours in the office that they want you visibly there to cold call. And so, it's 2019. You don't need to physically be anywhere.
Everyone's at a computer anyway.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Computer and phone, that's totally internet based. Okay, so you were at Marcus and Millichap for like a number of years?
Yeah, I was at Marcus and Millichap for about 5 years out of college. And so basically they teach you how to slam the phones, man.
Yep.
When I first got there, I couldn't close a car door. I mean, I had 0 life skills, I had 0 sales skills, let alone 0 real estate knowledge. So the 5 years there were, I'm very grateful for, as well as the team that's kind of helped me have success over there. But I think this lifestyle of, being able to work from anywhere is the real dream.
Yeah.
The dream career, dream lifestyle.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're in an office all day and slamming calls. I mean, if you can do it on a beach and get the same amount of work done and help your clients out, then I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Yep, exactly. So you got, somehow down the line turned on to this kind of like new type of career, location independent career. Yeah, it's like, for obviously if you're watching this channel, you already know, but maybe share this with your friends, maybe open some eyeballs. But it's like, I always ask people like this, like, would you rather be making like a shit ton of money and like have to go to like a 9 to 5 basically, or make like maybe just like 100K a year or like 60K a year or something, and be able to work from anywhere in the world, including stay in Bali as long as you want, and you know, basically travel the world at the same time. And if you get watching my channel, you can do that for only a couple grand a month. Like a few grand a month is obviously ideal. 5K a month is obviously better. 10K a month, then you're just like living. You can live anywhere in the world. So that's kind of philosophy. So let's jump straight into how did you negotiate this? How the tips for someone who wants to do the same thing with their company, maybe?
Yeah.
What tips have you learned as far as approaching? Do you approach your manager, your boss, or do you do it via an email, or how do you bring it up? And like, what's the tips there?
I would say, first of all, you know, try to see if you can do the work remotely at home already. If you have a job or career and you can do most of the work at home or across the street at a library, at a workspace, then you've already gotten an idea that it can work out anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So make sure you have to do that. If you gotta physically put pieces together, it's not going to work. But if you do a lot of your work online through a phone, maybe check in once in a while, or do a lot of your meetings online through Skype or Zoom, then you already have a good idea that it can work out. In terms of negotiating it and bringing it up, obviously try to, I think my opinion is, if you go on vacation or if you travel or if you kind of take a couple days off and you check in with your team or your management that you're already doing the work, then they have an idea to start letting you kind of take a couple days to work from home or work remote, and then slowly make it a longer period, or maybe take a week or two off and then get the work done. If they can see the results and they can see that you're making it happen, then they'll give you a little bit more flexibility to do it a longer period of time. And so that's a good sign if they let you do that. I wouldn't say just bring it up, hey, I'm going to take a month or two or maybe 3 months off and work in Thailand. It's probably going to be a big shock. But if you can slowly bring it up and show the results, show that you're helping your clients, showing you're helping your team, helping your firm, no one's, you know, don't make anyone carry the weight and basically push the workload to someone else. That's not going to work. But if you can do the same amount of work, pick up even more work, then that's good good sign of progress.
Okay, yeah, nice. So kind of, definitely ease into it. Start getting a lot done at home, start getting a lot done at Starbucks or the library or whatever, and ease into it. And after a while they'll kind of realize like, oh yeah, that's the guy that likes to work at Starbucks or whatever, and he's still crushing it, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. Or likes to work at home, whatever. So and I wrote this in my my blog post about this, and there'll be a link below with a full like article like with tips I'll put together about how to negotiate a remote work agreement, because this is, as you know, a more common thing. More companies are letting their employees do this because it's just the marketplace nowadays. They got to let their employees do it because people are demanding it, because it's possible, and we see people like me and out here like making a living from wherever. So okay, good. So build the trust basically that you can get your shit done without being in the office, and then. So, were you doing this at Marcus and Millichap like a bit, and then you said you brought the pitch to them somehow, and they weren't having it, so you changed companies?
So I guess, I mean, I like to travel. Trying to just go back a little bit on why how did you stumble into how did you get into this got in my interest. I was working my ass off at Marcus Millichap at the commercial real estate firm, and it's a great firm. You know, working at a big company out of college gives you really good skills. What I realized though, after my second or third years, I took my first vacation, and it was a week to Europe. And you know, for me, it felt like a long time, but in reality, when I got home, I was like, why am I working 99% of my year to take 1% off and enjoy
for one awesome week?
And that opened my eyes to like, you know, traveling, and you know, I was like, this is not right. This is not the right lifestyle. I can't imagine or picturing myself working till I'm 65 or even now much longer, working 99% of the year to enjoy 1% and, you know, having an awesome time. So I started kind of, you know, looking on YouTube, looking at podcasts, and so finally found out about, you know, the digital nomad kind of lifestyle, heard about Johnny's podcast, and you know, saw Riley's videos eventually on YouTube as well. And so just seeing from other people and talking about the strategies on how to do it, that got me to say, hey, you know, this doesn't have to be the life that I live in this cubicle for 10, 12 hours a day, and then only enjoying 1 week per year.
Yeah. Wow, 1 week. Why not like 2 weeks? Is it like that's all the vacation time you have?
Yeah,
or?
in America, I mean, it's they give you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but if
like,
you do
is that
take
per
it,
year though?
That's
2 to 3 weeks per year.
Yeah, for most companies in the U.S., it's like you have 2 or 3 weeks per year, and if you take that amount of time, people look down upon that. Like
that's paid vacation time, right?
Yeah, for commercial real estate, everything is commission based. You could technically take off as much time as you want.
Okay.
But even just leaving the office early on like a Friday or something, it's like, oh, this guy, you know, doesn't work
like
hard.
You're lazy or something.
Yeah, you're lazy.
Like, come on, man. Like,
yeah,
it's like an ultra. A lot of sales like jobs are like that, ultra like competitive, like sports. It's like a sport. It's like Wolf of Wall Street. Like watch that and you get the kind of the idea. Not as intense as that. That's like up there. That's like the most intense. But yeah, that kind of like fucking pound the phones.
First one in, last one out. Hit the phones all day long. You know, that's the culture, and you know, it's a little bit archaic in terms of like physically being there all day long. I mean, the work ethic, if you can take that work ethic and do it from wherever, then you're living a good lifestyle. And you know, it doesn't matter if you're in a physical office or if you're here in Bali or Thailand, if you're getting the work done, you're getting the work done. So I guess to kind of go to how I started bringing in that lifestyle into my old job was I started taking 2 weeks vacations, 3 weeks vacations, taking more time away from the office and kind of getting the work done. In Asia, it's a little bit harder because, you know, I was doing calls at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you know, talking to clients. And so that was a little bit tough because you have to work in US hours for something like commercial real estate sales. But it's that, you know, I would much rather work graveyard shift to be able to relax in the beach on the daytime. So I would do that all day long if I had the choice.
Nice. So how long were you doing that in Asia? Like you've been just doing like short couple week trips? Yeah, like 2-3
weeks at a time. Whether it was out of state, out of California, or in Thailand, it was like 2 or 3 week stints. And so I would enjoy the daytime out here, and then at nighttime I would have to get back on the phones, get the work done. So kind of getting used to like finding sleep in between or rest in between is a tough part at first, but eventually I'm sure, you know, you can make a lifestyle out of it and make it work.
Nice. So you're doing these little 2 to 3 week stints like a couple times a year, or like
so like this past year I took like January off for the Nomad Summit in Chiang Mai.
Nice.
I also went to Vietnam. In March, I was in Texas for South by Southwest for about 3 weeks. And so I was kind of working, going to the conference, just trying to do everything and keeping it balanced. Luckily, I had a team that was like really supportive, kind of picking up some of the pieces where I couldn't handle at some certain times, and I would pick up the pieces when I could handle it.
And this is at Marcus & Millichap?
This was at Marcus & Millichap, yeah. And so it's helpful if you do have a support system and you kind of be upfront and really have that communication and support. But like I said, don't make them take over all of your workload, because that's not fair to them. Obviously, take the amount of work, take the responsibility, find time in between to make it happen. Yeah,
it's about this life-work balance. Okay, so when did you decide to leave to a new company? Like, how did that all go down?
Yeah, so that's a good question. You know, my old company was you know, one of the best companies in America, so it was a nationwide firm for that industry. Eventually, my team had decided to go to an international real estate company, and so I took a couple months off, and that's why I'm here in Bali, to kind of just strategize and kind of go to other offices that were here internationally. So I checked out Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, Tokyo, Singapore. So it was a good sign when you get to visit their offices and kind of say, hey, we can collaborate together while I'm in the US or while I'm traveling, and I can jump in on an office space if I'm out here in the future. So that really helped. So kind of just being upfront with the communication has been key. So starting in a couple weeks, I'll be hopping back from California, and then a couple months after that, I'll be in Mexico for Nomad Summit in Cancun. I'm trying to make it go full time as this digital nomad lifestyle, just getting started and trying to get my feet wet into it. And then hopefully, you know, 8 months out of the year or more, I can be traveling full time and eventually start getting that passive cash flow.
Which is obviously the next level. Okay, so cool. So you have like a couple month stint out here in Asia now. And are you totally taking time off, or are you hitting the phone still at night?
So these 2 months are like sabbatical, where it's like, hey, let me just you know, relax, meditate, go to a meditation retreat, chill out. Once I get back to the States, it's going to be hitting it hard again and really trying to make the work-life digital nomad lifestyle kind of work out.
Cool. So yeah, back to the office for a bit, and then you're planning on Cancun for the Nomad Summit in October, and then after that, stay in Mexico, and do the work remote thing. You're thinking Mexico City?
Mexico City for being based out of for maybe a month or two, and then Cancun or some of the beach towns to maybe take a month to work from there. So kind of just playing it by ear.
Yeah, that makes sense. So basically same time zone as US. So you can do the phone, the cold calls in the day. So okay, there's that. Okay, awesome. And does your current company, did they know this plan, or are you just gonna kind of go with it?
So my team that went over to the new company, they've been very supportive, and they've been talking to upper management about like this type of plan and talking about how it works and kind of having my back. So that's been helpful.
I see.
So some of the senior guys are, you know, vouching for me to say, hey, this guy's gonna make it work. This guy's on my team. I can vouch for him. So I haven't given out the whole layout of the plan, but my team has basically said it for me. And then once I get back in town, you know, I have that meeting where I'm going to pitch it, lay it all out, be as open as possible, and express, you know, my game plan and my goals.
If you have a team that can back you, obviously that's money. But yeah, approach it from the heart, like be as honest and open as possible. Obviously that's appreciated not just in business but in life. You know, let whoever needs to know like your goals, you know, and everyone can relate to this work-life balance. I mean, let's be honest. Everyone wants to have a work-life balance, so I'm sure if your boss or manager or whatever is not a complete asshole, they will understand. And like I was saying earlier, this is a new landscape because more and more employees are, you know, demanding this type of work from home thing, and so employers have to compete because it's like if we don't let our employees work remote, they're going to go to this other company that does allow them to work remote. So it's this whole like spiral revolution happening of companies that have to start offering this. So it is definitely possible. And I will note that I've met a couple other guys personally in Chiang Mai who do phone sales.
Nice.
And so I know there's more people doing this phone sales type work remote thing, so it can be done. There are a lot of motherfuckers doing that. If you do know anyone doing it, let me know in the comments or whatever. Share your story in the comments. But it's definitely possible. The real estate game, definitely. So I know I always talk about when I kind of came to Chiang Mai, and definitely I had like 8K saved up, and I say like I wish I had a little bit more, like closer to 10K or more. But I know like if you're crushing it with commission sales, like you can stack up a good amount of cheese. So do you have like a target like savings before you? We're talking about this at lunch, before you kind of like take extend, like totally leave or go like full time into your online thing, because it's kind of difficult. It's kind of different, I guess, with sales commission jobs, because you can go right back to them. So it's like you can take as much time as you want off and like pretty much go back to like the same type of job, whether it's with the same company or a different one. So I mean, I always recommend to people, like if you can do 10K or more saved, that would be great. But with everyone, their situation is different. I guess for you guys watching, if you have, this is what I kind of say is, because people ask me this all the time. When should I quit my job? Should I quit my job? And I say it has to do with like a few things. So like, how much money are you making now? If you're making great money, I would say like stick with that for as long as you can and stack up as much savings as you can. But if it's a job that you can leave for a number of months, like 3-6 months, and then come back to, then that's, you can leave with less savings, because you can come back to that, you know. But if it's a type of job where you have a lot of responsibilities or whatever, and you can't come back to that, then that's a whole different game. Like maybe you should stick with that longer. Make sure you save up more to buy yourself more time, all right? Because you have less of a kind of something to come back to. Do you have do you have a sales or a savings number that you want to hit, like fucking 20K, or like what are you working up to, or what's your kind of what's your goal till of when you want to go full time into online business, which we'll get into next?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'm still trying to figure it out if it's like, you know, if I should stay in the commission job and like put my foot on the gas when I need money, and then when a couple of deals close, take the foot off the gas and then stay there, you know, permanently. Or, you know, if I close a deal, maybe use the capital to invest in like some side hustle, take time to pivot and do something like that, or maybe close a deal, put it into some passive investments. So to be honest, I don't really have the right strategy outlined yet of how I want to do it. I just know that I like this lifestyle. I want to live this lifestyle, and you know, I got to do whatever it takes to make it happen. So right now my short-term goal is just to close deals, stack up the capital, stack up the cheddar, and just be able to buy time to pivot into the next passive income business, or just invest into some cash flowing investments that'll let me live the life out here. So I guess the main thing is like figuring out what your expenses are if you're gonna come out and move out here. Are you gonna be in Bali? Are you gonna be in Chiang Mai? Are you gonna be in Vietnam? Obviously, depending where you go, it's gonna be a higher or lower overhead. And so, you know, how I would do it is definitely do like a mint.com account, track your expenses, figure out, you know, what's a realistic type of budget that you can live off of. Whether you're going to give it a 3-month jump or 6-month jump, you know, kind of reverse engineer the math from there of how much money you're going to need. But for me, I think, you know, 3 months in Mexico and then 2-3 months beginning of next year out here in Chiang Mai and Bali will give me a better idea of like the amount of income and expenses, and if I have enough capital to invest or dabble into other side hustles.
Fuck yeah. So if you guys follow, you know that I always say in Chiang Mai you can live on $1,000 for a pretty balanced life. That's pretty standard for Southeast Asia. That's the thing about this part of the world, is you can bootstrap and live for cheap. You can live in hostels, like cheap ass rooms, whatever. So Chiang Mai, you can live on 1,000, or like I tend to spend closer to 2,000 in Chiang Mai, just like cause, you know, like to do more shit, go out more, whatever. Depends basically where you stay and what you're eating and drinking. Like that's the biggest two things I've found. But Chiang Mai, you can bootstrap as low as 600. I know a handful of guys who live $600 a month, still eat out every day. They just like don't splurge on stuff like partying and nice condo or whatever. In Bali, you can check out my Bali guide and cost of living here. I have been ending up spending around 2.5 to 3K, just living my life that you see daily on my Instagram and Instagram stories, eating out every day, solid room. If you want to live in a villa, like I've been living this past couple months, you're going to be spending from, if you're splitting it, you know, with like a couple guys or a few guys, 1K to 1.5 to 2K just for the rent, and then maybe another 2K for the living expenses. So if you want to be living in like a sick villa mansion like this, you're looking at a budget closer to 3 or 4K a month. But there's a wide range of villa prices that you can get out here. Anyway, so yeah, that's the kind of cost of living that you can live in Southeast Asia, from 1,000 to wherever, you know, as high as you want. What about Mexico City, for example? What have you noticed the cost of living there? I
think Mexico City is probably 1,500 to maybe 2,000. Okay. Depending on what part of town. Still cheaper than California. I mean, I was living in Orange County, Southern California, so everywhere else in the world seems to be a location arbitrage opportunity, whether you're in Bali or Thailand or Mexico. So I feel like Mexico City will be a good base, and to try to figure out the expenses there. I still need to do more homework and figure out what the cost of goods, standard of living looks like there.
So you know RJ has been living there for a minute. Does he know anyone that's like digital nomads that bootstrap for around 1,000 a month? Or is like, would you say the bootstrapping minimum, like for a good balanced life, is around 1.5K, closer to that?
I'm not too sure. That's a good question. I got to do a little bit more homework and research. to be honest, but I think that's probably ballpark in terms of like food and expenses and rent and stuff.
That wouldn't surprise
and so,
me.
I mean, shoot, I love Mexican food. I love tacos. I love Mexican culture. I grew up in Salinas, up in Northern California, so I want to brush up on my Spanish. So I'm really excited to make it and try to make it happen out there.
Fuck yeah, making it happen. And then for online business, so how much have you been working on the side hustle? I know you said you were side hustling with Amazon merch. I know you said you got your ass kicked.
Yeah.
How long were you working on it for the side hustle? And like, what was that like?
Yeah, so I met RJ and CJ at the Las Vegas Nomad Summit, so shout out to them. They did a really good panel and helped me out even after the conference for the first few months that I tried to dabble into it. So I actually got rejected from Amazon merch 10 times.
Your account got rejected?
Yeah, 10 times.
Oh, because you applied and...
Applied, got rejected, made different emails, used my Amazon account that I always buy stuff with. I got rejected through 10 different email accounts. So then I tried to use other websites that didn't have as much traffic as Amazon. You know, I went through the whole, Upwork and Fiverr, making designs, you know, went through the whole gamut and, it just didn't work out. I mean, I probably could have figured out if I went longer and try to make it happen. But for me, when I get into businesses, I really don't like the feeling when I don't have like a competitive edge or like an unfair advantage. I feel like for Merch My Amazon or just that type of design,
the print on demand model.
Yeah, I couldn't bootstrap because I didn't know how to design, like, I'm not good with Photoshop or Illustrator, so I had to outsource and hire, and that gets expensive if you're doing it by volume. And so I really didn't know any of the strategies too of like listing and getting some of the other techniques that people do whenever they do list items. So I was getting my ass kicked, and so I thought, okay, give it a shot. If I'm sure if other people give it a longer shot and figure out ways to do it, you'll be successful. But for me, I kind of cut bait on it, and I said, okay, let me get into something else where I have some sort of background that gives me a little bit of an edge. And so I'm just in the process right now of pivoting through different business models and trying to see what fits and what I enjoy. And so this commercial real estate thing is cool because it's helping me get the capital to not only survive but also to get into the next side hustle and eventually get into the passive income quadrant of the cash flow quadrant.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's the ultimate goal. Right now, the commercial real estate thing, this is like the hands-on trading time for money as an independent contractor and self-employed person. But eventually I want to get into the business owner and investor quadrant where I can live off of passive income and not have to be cold calling in the middle of the night. So trying to get to that side soon, but still pivoting, still learning, never going to stop growing. And I'm open to getting punched in the mouth enough times and failing and making all these mistakes, because I know eventually you'll hit your big break if you just keep the work ethic and keep being positive, and if you really have a passion and really want to make this thing happen, there's no one stopping you but yourself. So
fuck yes, exactly. If you want it bad enough, you're gonna fucking figure it out. It's just a matter of time. That was the same story with me and Parker. I was just telling you, we had the 4-hour work week posters, like filling out the target monthly cash flow goals, and like now we're here. But like I was telling you at lunch, for me it was a 2-year journey of trying to figure out this passive income thing before I actually started making it. And it just happened to be via selling products on Amazon.com. But many online hustles out there. Yeah, man, respect. We gon' make it. And he's out here, like he's already living that life, at like chunks at a time out here. Like that's just one huge nugget that people can take. Like you can like take 2-3 week vacations, like take some time off, especially if you have like an independent contractor type job. Do it, And of course, I'll plug one more time, the Nomad Summit is coming up October 2019. So if you want to meet Rainier and tons of other entrepreneur, cash flow minded people and travel minded people to connect with, you're a perfect case study of that right there. So shout out to Johnny again for putting on the Nomad Summit and connecting us. And then of course it's also every year in Chiang Mai, Thailand. That's really the one you should go to.
Yeah, definitely.
because I was telling you at lunch, it was a 2-week trip to Thailand for me. It kind of set the spark and kind of like, you know, you can breathe it in and kind of breathe like in the Buddha atmosphere and be like, oh, okay, it's chill as fuck out here, man. And that can kind of set that spark, that flame, to make something happen. Anyway, my man, boom. We're just here in Bali chilling. Here we have a villa. This is only 200. We got the Wiz and the Lux over here. This is only 200 a night, guys. This 3-bedroom villa right here. Pool right in the heart of Canggu, and there's 3 bedrooms upstairs. I won't walk up, but anyways, guys, 200 a night, 3 bedrooms. That's like 6K. You can probably get this for 5K a month. Split it with 3 guys. You know, 1.7K a month for rent each. Anyway, see you guys in Bali. Peace.
Living that life, we just living that life. Talking plies, living that life, we just living that life. You're listening to the Living That Life Digital Nomad Podcast. Hit the subscribe button on iTunes if you're a boss, and check out the YouTube channel for dope travel videos.